All right, guys, we're back with part 2 on whether it's a pure substance or a mixture. So hopefully, based on the instructions, you created a table, a little bit like mine, or a T-chart, and we're going to go through each of these pure substances or mixtures and figure out what you thought about each of them. What were some ways that you could determine whether they were, in fact, pure substances or mixtures? So, some ideas, I'm super interested to read yours and to see what you guys thought, but for A and B, you could have chosen to use the loop. Obviously, because they look like rock samples, obviously you can use the loop to inspect them a little bit more closely. And if you'll think about what A and B are, obviously they're made from earth materials. And if you thought A was a mixture, then you were correct. So we are going to put A on our pure substance or mixture chart. All right. So the A was what we call granite. All right. B is slate. And slate is a mixture as well, because it is a mixture of different kinds of rock. So B is also a mixture, and we determined that because we just used one of our 5 senses, which was our eyes. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be a smart thing to lick these. You could smell them though, and use your other senses. But in this case, A and B, we determine are in fact mixtures. All right, so we have C here. Just for fun, I took a scoop of C and I added it to a test tube with some water, because water can tell you all kinds of things. But with this one, I have put it in here in water, and you'll notice that it is it's not really responding any differently if I shake it up. It does go through the test tube a little bit, but I used water to just see if there was any separation techniques. I could use a filter just like you guys used in the other lab, in lab 1. But this is dirt. Yes, a mixture of different rocks and things that are dirt. All right, so C is a mixture. It also falls into that category. All right, next up we have substance D. Is it a mixture or a substance? Well, it is completely pure throughout, meaning you can't determine the differences between the parts in this. So we would call that a pure substance, because we cannot distinguish between the different parts. So D is actually a pure substance. All right, moving on to E. E was a little bit easier to look at as well, as far as if it were a mixture, because you can see here there are parts that do not mix together. So really we say it's a mixture, but it is in fact 3 different substances mixed together. And the top there, the bubbles, that is dish soap. And then we have that middle layer, which is vegetable oil. And then we have water. And if you'll think back to those different properties of each of those, remember that links back to its, what is it? Its density. That's right. We covered that one a while back. All right, so E is also a mixture. All right, so we're moving on to F. F, I simply just took some of it and I put it in a test tube, added a little bit of water to it, and if you'll notice, yes, some of you thought, oh, that's a mixture, but in fact, the particles are so small in it, and you can't tell the difference between these. So this is known as a solution. So it is a pure substance, because you can't distinguish the different parts of it. So we're going to go ahead and add that F to that one. Okay, so we have G. We're getting near the end. I took a scoop of G, I added it to some water. Ooh, look at there. It looks like it was all the same. All those powders together looks exactly the same, but because of how it responded in the water, you see that top layer there, and then you have the bottom layer at the bottom that has settled. Well, we know that because those responded differently to water, then those must be, you guessed it, a mixture. I'm gonna take G. And then last but not least, we have H. And I chose to use the magnet for this one. And you could have used the magnets on any of the other ones, but for this case, you can see that the magnet grabs onto part of this, but not all of it. And if you'll notice, those little yellow chunks in there are left behind. And so we call this yep, it's a mixture. So here we have it. Pure substances are D and F, and your mixtures are A, B, C, E, G, and H. I hope that your responses were a little bit the same. If not, don't be discouraged, because we are going to be covering this throughout the remainder of the semester, and you'll have a greater understanding of what exactly is a pure substance versus a mixture.